Coming to the last part of this lesson now, after we have understood the meaning, the concept, the levels of biodiversity, the significance, we have seen how different organizations are working for the cause of environment and biodiversity. The next thing that we have to see is the status of biodiversity. Okay. Status of biodiversity means in our country at present, what is the level or the status or the position of biodiversity in different parts as compared to other countries also we can see. Okay, so see, as far as India is concerned, because we are talking about the national status, the total land mass of our country is around 3029 million hectares. Okay, from every corner of the country if you consider, including our islands. Okay, we have Andaman Nicobar Islands towards the Bay of Bengal, and we have the Lakshadweep Islands near the Arabian Sea, correct? And we have all the mountainous regions also right till the remotest corner of our country. So if you see the physical map, and you must have studied all this in geography also, like we have a huge Himalayan mountain range in the north, correct? It's not only in India, of course, the Himalayan ranges stretch across different countries. So it starts right from the northwest corner at the Afghanistan-Pakistan border. It traverses across Pakistan, enters India. Okay, within India, it passes through Jammu Kashmir, the Ladakh region, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand. Then it enters the Nepal. Nepal is a completely Himalayan state. Then in India, there is a tiny state in between two countries called as Sikkim, which is a part of India. Again, it enters into another country called Bhutan. Himalayas even touch the Tibet and the China, correct? And then it enters again into the Indian state of Arunachal Pradesh, ending in the easternmost part of Arunachal Pradesh, that is near Myanmar. So this entirely forms a covering at the top, and they are young fold mountains, snow-capped ones. That is the one, the Himalayan mountains, because of which India has got a tropical climate. They are able to protect or prevent the very cold winds from the north from entering our country. Otherwise, the climate of our country would have been very cold. Okay. Similarly, you have the Bay of Bengal in the east, the Arabian Sea in the west, and the Indian Ocean in the south. And that's why the entire country is divided into 10 phytogeographical regions. We don't want to go into the details of that for now, but because of the differences in the weather and the climate across different parts, it is divided into 10 such regions. And there is a very rich biodiversity because of this varied conditions. There is differences across latitudes and differences across altitudes also. Okay, so see this, for example, how the contrasting conditions, all of them exist within one country. We have the humid tropical Western Ghats. You know which place is this? This is a part of the, this is the Dudhsagar waterfalls in Goa. Do you know that? The Konkan Railway passes through this. You must have seen that movie Chennai Express. देखा है? और शाहरुख खान को यहाँ पे उतार देते हैं चेन खींच के. That is this place. It's a part of the Western Ghats, the Dudhsagar waterfalls. Very popular. So Western Ghats is a very nice tropical dense forest. Okay. Then compared to that, you have the peninsular part of our country, the central Deccan Plateau and all, if you say, which is more of a dry and deciduous type. So kitna contrasting hai dekho, correct? At the same time, you have our islands. So you go to Andaman Nicobar, you go to Lakshadweep. This is how the islands imagine. The major common tree which you will find are the coconut trees, correct? Similarly, if you go to the north, you have the icy mountains of the Himalayas, having its own climatic condition, topography, and the vegetation, right? You have the hot deserts of the Rajasthan and the Kutch region. Kitna contrasting hai dekho, right? And in the eastern part of our country, we have the mangrove swamps, the swampy region. So such varied contrasting pictures you are getting within one country. That's what our country is. Because of that, we have a very good biodiversity. So there is no other country in the world having such a diversity as it exists. Okay. So India shares around 8.1% of the total biodiversity wealth of the earth. कि अर्थ में जितने स्पीशीज हैं 8.1% of that exists in India. And if you compare the land area with other nations of the world, India has got just around 2.4% of it. So in this 2.4% land area, there is 8.1% of the biodiversity which exists, which is a huge diversity. That's why it is one of the 17 mega diversity nations of the world. So there are around 45,000 plant species and about double the number of animal species in India. But still, we are not aware about a lot of it because there is no exploration done, and you might come across more species, which is officially not recorded. Okay? So India has got such a good status, right? See, there is something called biodiversity hotspot. Biodiversity hotspot का मतलब है in the entire world there are some regions, okay, specific geographical areas where in that area the richness of the species is very high. That means in that area itself there is a very good level of biodiversity of species which are found. Minimum 30% of the species in those regions should be endemic if you want to call it as a hotspot. Endemic species का मतलब है those species which are found only in that region and not anywhere else. तो कुछ species होते हैं जो सिर्फ वहीं मिलेंगे, दूसरे कहीं नहीं मिलेंगे. So their distribution is very restricted. उसको endemic species बोलते हैं. So if any area has got minimum 30% of its species as endemic species, we can call it as a biodiversity hotspot. Okay, so in the entire world, there are 34 biodiversity hotspots. In India, there are 3 of them. 3 biodiversity hotspots in our country. Okay, so the first one is the Western Ghats. So Western Ghats मतलब कहाँ पर in geography you must have learned. It starts from the southern tip of Gujarat, all along the western coast. Okay, तो गुजरात के सूरत वाले साइड से वहां से शुरू होते, passes through Maharashtra, the Konkan, passes through Goa, Karnataka, Kerala, and to some extent even in Tamil Nadu. So Western Ghats is a huge range, and it's a heavy rainfall region, having very good diversity. So lots of plants and animal species are found endemic to this region. Okay, so जैसे North Western Ghats हो गया, Central Western Ghats in this Goa Karnataka region, you have the Nilgiris in the Tamil Nadu Karnataka region, and you have Southern Western Ghats in Kerala. ये सब पूरा मिला के Western Ghats. Okay, then second hotspot, the biodiversity hotspot are the Himalayas, no doubt about it. Right, just now we mentioned the extent of the Himalayas from where to where it occurs, and all along the entire length and breadth and the height of the Himalayas you get extreme level of biodiversity. बहुत सारे ऐसे plants and animal species हैं जो सिर्फ Himalayas में मिलेंगे, and they find mention even in our mythological scriptures and Ayurvedic literature. If you remember the Ramayana story, okay, लक्ष्मण को जब बाण लग गया था, हनुमान had flown like उड़ के गए थे, हिमालय से जड़ी बूटी लेकर आए थे, संजीवनी बूटी. हैव यू हर्ड अबाउट दैट? तो ये स्टोरी है जो अपने माइथोलॉजिकल स्क्रिप्चर में मेंशन्ड है, where again it is indicating the point that Himalayas are the place where there are lots of medicinal plants which are found. Very interesting place, and that's why it is a biodiversity hotspot. So you can imagine from the Kashmir Ladakh region to the Arunachal Pradesh region, a huge extent of the Himalayas. So diversity in the Kashmir region is different and diversity in the Arunachal region is different. In fact, in Sikkim, in the northern part, there is a sanctuary in the Himalayas जिसका नाम है Rhododendron Wildlife Sanctuary. Rhododendron is a flowering plant जो हिमालयस में बहुत ग्रो होते हैं. तो सिक्किम हिमालयस में रोडोडेंड्रॉन्स के बहुत स्पीशीज है. तो फॉर प्रोटेक्टिंग दैट देयर इज अ वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी क्रिएटेड वो सिक्किम में. तो लाइक दैट यू हैव इन great extent in the Himalayas, even the animal species. You have snow leopards, polar bears तो नहीं है Himalayas में, but many such interesting species which you will find in the Himalayas, and that's a biodiversity hotspot. Okay, and then the third biodiversity hotspot in our country is the Indo-Burma, which is in the eastern part, which is again not restricted to only India. Okay, it extends across the other countries also. So India में कितना part आ रहा है इसका? The entire northeast portion, as you can see. Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Manipur, Nagaland. Okay, along with that, the Myanmar, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, ये सब पूरा area मिलाकर that becomes the Indo-Burma region. Okay, all the way to the South China Sea. That's a very big biodiversity hotspot. So there the diversity is totally different. If you talk about the Indian part of it, Northeast India is popular mainly for two plant species, different types of bamboos, and the different types of orchids that you get in this region. Amazing plants. So यहाँ का भी forest area सब उतना ही diverse. So three such biodiversity hotspots you have to remember. First one is the Western Ghats. Second one the Himalayas. Third is Indo-Burma. And in the world, there are 34 biodiversity hotspots. सारे countries मिलाकर. 3 of them are from India and the neighboring countries. ठीक है? Okay. Now, coming to the last part of the lesson, we have seen species diversity, their existence, the threats to them and everything. So there has to be a proper database where all the species that we know, plants, animals, everything, they should be having their mention, how much threatened or how much endangered or whether they are safe or not. Because species are constantly in danger from the most dangerous species on the earth, that is human beings. Correct? So for various reasons, we are destroying the species. So there is this IUCN, as we mentioned, International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. This one in association with SSC, not the board exam which you all are going to give. SSC का मतलब है Species Survival Commission. इन दोनों ने मिलाकर, especially the IUCN has released something called RDB. RDB stands for Red Data Book. Okay, Red Data Book means, Red Data Book का मतलब है कि a book or a data which will contain the names and the location of the species which are under danger. If they are not protected, they will become extinct. Okay, so that is called as the red list, which is prepared by the IUCN. Okay, and the SSC, Species Survival Commission. You can see all the logos and और ये तो बहुत सारे abbreviations जो अभी हमने देखे, you have to learn all of them. Okay, so any particular species, whether it is a threatened or an endangered one, how will you know whether it is at a risk of extinction or not? So there are different criteria considered. Okay, like first of all, the geographic range where you get those species. If the distribution is very restricted, जैसे कोई छोटा island में मिल रहा है, दूसरा कहीं नहीं मिल रहा है, so it is a in danger. Okay, then the small population size. Okay, that particular species do not have too many individuals, so there is a high chance it will become extinct. Right? Then small species size also. If they are not big animals or big plants, they're small ones, small herbs, या कोई छोटे animals, या maybe small insects, so they go unnoticed. So because of that, they can become extinct. Okay, species in a very restricted area, endemic species जैसे हमने बोला, not having the distribution much in the wild. Okay, and high probability of extinction in the wild by analysis, statistical analysis. कि they will see the last 5 to 10 years का data कि उनका number कम हो रहा है कि नहीं, and according to that data they will predict कि in the next 5 years or 10 years or maybe some other number of years whether they will become extinct or not. According to that, this environmentalist will decide and they will set a criteria whether you can call that species as an endangered one or whether it is safe from extinction. Like that, there are different classification categories of threatened species. Okay, just the first one is called endangered species. Endangered species का मतलब क्या है? Either the number of this species is declining या फिर wherever the species are found, their habitats are shrinking. The place where they live is called habitat. अगर वो छोटे होता गया, so their numbers will reduce. They cannot survive. They cannot breed. So if they are not protected, if they are not conserved, in the near future they will become extinct. So ऐसे species को बोलते हैं endangered species. So two examples you can remember. This is the lesser florican, and this one is the lion-tailed macaque. Okay, these two examples you can understand, which can be classified as endangered species. Like I'm restricting to the textbook for this. There are more examples which you can always go through. Plants give examples. Okay, then the second one is called rare species. पहले endangered था, second one is rare species. So the number of these organisms is considerably declined. Okay, like rare नाम से ही पता चलता है, literally the meaning of that word. Okay, so they are being endemic, they become extinct very fast. So you have animals like musk deer, the red panda. Red panda is mainly found in the eastern Himalayas. Very beautiful cuddly animal, right? And ये musk deer है जो mainly Manipur side में मिलता है. Why it's called the musk deer? Because the hide or the skin of this animal has got specialized glands. इसको musk glands बोलते हैं. They produce a very fragrant product. तो ये animals को लोग इसके लिए मारते हैं because they want to obtain this product from cosmetics बनाने. So because of that, these animals came into danger. Okay, so rare species. You can have many more examples, but for your level, you can learn these like two examples that are given in your book itself. Okay, then the third one is vulnerable species. Vulnerable species मतलब क्या कि the number of these organisms is very less and they are declining at a faster rate, very fast. So if you are not protecting them in any scientific way, their continuous decline can be a cause of concern. तो ये नजर में है कि कम हो रहे. So the common two examples are Royal Bengal tiger. See how huge and majestic they are, which are mainly restricted to these Sundarbans, and that's why we had that Project Tiger initiative in the 1973 कि इंडिया में टाइगर के नंबर बहुत कम हो गए थे वाइल्ड में. Okay, so they need to be protected. So national park sanctuaries को tiger reserve करके भी declare किए गए. Similarly, you have the Asiatic lions, the Gir Wildlife Sanctuary in Gujarat, Jamnagar district. That's the only place in the world where you get these Asiatic lions in the wild. So they are vulnerable. Okay, understood the three categories. ये fourth one देखो. This is called indeterminate species. Okay, so it's like these organisms, they appear to be endangered, but we don't have the complete information about them. Maybe because see, some animals, okay, some animals, they have a tendency to be very shy. They don't come out much, especially if you are as a human being, even as a conservation biologist, you go into the wild, you might say कि like animal को ढूंढ के इसका photo निकालते. So you don't get the opportunity to take their photographs or something or observe their behavior because you don't have a lot of information. Because of that, we categorize it under indeterminate species. This is the example, the giant squirrel, also called the sheku. Okay, so according to that, you remember these examples. Is it clear, everyone? So considering all these facts about biodiversity, the various aspects, okay, in order to promote the awareness among the local people, it is said that the World Biodiversity Day is observed on 22nd May every year. Remember this date. Okay, 22nd May every year is observed as World Biodiversity Day. So on different organizations, schools and colleges also, they conduct awareness programs, they conduct these quizzes and environmental competitions and all. So students take part in it. In that process, they learn a lot of things. They also conduct training programs. It is observed for an entire week actually. Okay, so this becomes a very important way in which we are able to promote the importance of biodiversity. Is that clear, everyone? All these points are clear. Okay, so with that, we come to the end of this lesson. Okay, finally, we have covered everything. So is the name of the lesson justified? Environment management. Correct. We started with what is environment, what is ecology, what is ecosystem, the types, the functioning of the ecosystem, food chain, food webs. Many concepts were covered in this lesson. Correct. So with that, we come to the end. Quickly answer these questions. Ready, everyone? Okay. First question. Sacred groves are called as dash in Maharashtra. Abhirami, even you should answer. Dipali, you also. In Maharashtra, sacred groves are known as what? Dipali, right now you are near some sacred groves. You are in Konkan region. The answer is Devrais. Devrai करके बोलता महाराष्ट्र में. Okay, remember that. Next. Yes, this is very important. Dodo bird is an example of dash species. Have you heard about the dodo bird, anyone? सुना है dodo bird के बारे में? Okay, this point was missed out. The answer is extinct. Okay, dodo bird is an example of extinct species. Okay, that bird, there is no living individual of the dodo bird which is found anywhere in the world now. The last living individual was hunted and it got killed. That's a dodo bird. Okay. Then next one. Dash takes care of all the acts and laws to the environment. What is it?
IUCN.
No. No. Implementation of the acts and laws. IUCN is for species conservation, red data book and all. It is the NGT. Yes.
NGT.
Yes. National Green Tribunal. Remember that. Okay. Then the first trophic level always consists of dash.
Producers.
Very good. It is producers always, right? The food chain always begins from there. Good. There are totally dash protected areas in India.
550.
Actually, it is more than 800. So here you can tell the answer as it should be 852. There is a mistake, not 652. Okay, 550 is the number of wildlife sanctuaries. Okay. A protected area demarcated for a specific wild species is called as a dash. A particular species. Then we call it as what? Yes.
Biosphere reserve.
No. If you want to conserve a particular wildlife species, any animal or a plant, we call it a sanctuary. उसको सैंक्चुरी करके बोलते हैं, बर्ड सैंक्चुरी, टाइगर सैंक्चुरी. Okay, biosphere reserve is a very large area having many national parks and sanctuaries. Okay, then this is laughing hyenas belong to the group of dash. What is it? You know laughing hyenas? लकड़ बग्गा करके बोलते हैं. One of the dirtiest animals. It belongs to, any idea? It is top carnivores because they can feed on even other carnivores. उसको top carnivores बोलते हैं. ठीक है. Next, there are dash biodiversity hotspots in India.
3.
It is 3. Correct. ठीक है. Understood this properly? Any doubts throughout? Okay. So how did you like this lesson on environment management? Good enough? Lots
Yes,
of
sir.
terms to learn, right? But lots of new information also, right? Okay.